Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the penultimate of my Bachelor reviews. Just real quick, want to give a shout out to Shein for this dress. I'm wearing it in honor of Hannah Ann. I was very much feeling her burnt orange number and I was inspired to wear something similar for this review. As I said, for these final episodes, I will be dressing up because it is a big deal and I'm very excited. So we're just gonna get straight into the review. So if you do want to hear my thoughts on this week's episode of The Bachelor, and we do have another one tomorrow, stick around, keep watching, and let's go. So Peter's meeting with his family and he's telling them about the two girls he has left and he's really excited to talk about them both. I have here in my notes his hands when he goes to greet his parents. They were a bit like dinosaurs, like it kind of made me laugh a little. And you can see straight away they have concerns about Maddie. So I'm like, okay, I see where this episode is gonna go. So then Hannah arrives and she comes to meet his family, loving her dress. I need to find out if anyone knows where that dress is from. Comment below. Comment below what your thoughts were on Hannah's dress. Great choice. Also, when Hannah and Peter were talking to his parents, Peter was like rubbing his chin all on Hannah. I found that a bit awkward. Like if I was sat with my parents and my potential partner and he started rubbing his chin all over me, I'd be like, chill. And so when Peter sits with so they do the whole talking to the family and separate chats and they're all loving Hannah, but when Peter's dad asks Peter about Hannah, you can see he isn't confident in it. So anyway, next we have Madison. So Madison arrives and they're sat outside for ages. So yeah, she's basically lecturing Peter. Am I the only one that found it a bit patronizing when, what did she call him? She was like, you're a big boy. That was just a little bit patronizing. Sidebar though, what mascara does Madison wear? Because her eyelashes, everything. I mean, also she has the best eyelashes in the world, but you know. And Peter finally steps up and says, listen, you gave me an ultimatum. And I'm like, good on you, Peter, because I could see he was holding that back a bit, but he tells her that. And the whole conversation is just so tense between these two, as it always is. Well, these last few episodes. And if I'm honest with you, I can see where they're both coming from. They both are within their rights to feel the way that they do. So it's a tricky one. It's very tricky and it's not your normal situation. I mean, how often is your boyfriend dating 20 other people and you know about it and you just have to get through it and hope for a proposal? Not many times. I can't think of a time. And so, you know, Madison's talking about there is an issue and Peter's like, the issue is... And Maddie says, all this other crap. Shade. I thought it was shade anyway. But I do ask this one question because the way Peter's fighting for Maddie, if he knew it was her all along, then I do ask the question, should he have slept with other women if he knew he wanted her at the end? Just a thought. So then it's like, oh, are they going to work things out? Because then she tells him she loves him and they sort it all out. And then I'm like, okay, where is the plot twist? And then they go to meet his family. So Peter's dad asks, what's going on? It's awkward. And then they're talking, they're explaining, and they said they had a roadblock, and Peter's dad asks, so what was this roadblock? Another awkward question. So then, yeah, Madison explains her views again. Very awkward to watch. Also, I just noted we're seeing a stronger side to Madison this episode. Like, I feel like I'm seeing more of her personality and getting to know more of her, which I am enjoying to see. And then, so I've got Peter's brother is asking Peter all the right questions, and he gets his back up against the wall, and he's very defensive, and that was just like... Ugh. Like his brother's like, make sure you're not compromising yourself. And Peter's like, that's what a relationship is. You're asking ridiculous things. Like it was all a lot. It was a lot. Madison and Peter had finally got back to their good place. And then Peter's family just unearthed a whole bunch of questions and concerns for him. And I was like, woo. Also, one thing I've noticed, whenever the lead, their family doesn't like the guy or girl, one of the guys or girls, the lead really gets defensive and fights for them even more. And I feel like the family take the attention away from the person they like almost and lead the lead to the other person, if that makes sense. Because the more you have to fight for something, the more you want it sometimes. Definitely in Peter's case. And then, yeah, we see that Bring Her Home was about Hannah Ann. Those famous lines are finally said. And I didn't think it was going to be about Hannah Ann until this episode started, and I was like, okay, I see it. Sorry, I missed out a whole lot. When Madison sits with Peter's mum, and Peter's mum calls out Madison on the ultimatum she gave Peter, and then Madison cuts her off, and I just wrote, eek, bad move. Because Peter's mum does not look impressed, and I think it was in that moment she decided to stan Hannah harder. So yeah, Peter sat with the family, and this is just all so tense. But you know what? And then obviously Peter's mum is crying, and she's saying, bring her home, and I prayed on it, this is what God wants, da 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 da. And Peter asks her to stop and says it's not fair on him. And I see where he's coming from. You can see he's emotionally drained, and she is forcing her views on him a bit. So we have Peter and Maddie's day. Shocker, they're in a helicopter again. So they sit down for the picnic, and it's not looking good. And Madison decides to end things. I mean, I always felt she was going to walk away. I just didn't see it coming after all these hurdles. I feel like Madison should have left the night she found out he had slept with other women. Like, if she decided to forgive him, she should have put it behind her. Easier said than done, I know, and I guess the emotions only started to come up now. But I just feel, yeah, she's been holding it against him all this time, and then she just leaves. So yeah, it's tricky. Anyway, we know what happens, but anyway. Also, why are there always flies around Peter and Madison? I mean, I know there's a lot of insects in Australia, but I never see them with Hannah and Peter. But Madison and Peter, like, all the time in their conversations, and it's always the most intense, emotional conversations, and they're just like... It actually, despite the flies, is very heartbreaking to watch. Next, we have Chris having a sit down with Peter, and he's basically saying it was Madison. So at this point, I feel really bad for Hannah Ann. Like, what the hell? So anyway, it's time for Hannah Ann's date, and I've got it. Hannah Ann looks like she could be a cast member from Sunset Beach. Comment below if you agree. Maybe Meg, I think her name was, or just any. She looks, especially when she's walking. For their date, they get to go and see all the kangaroos, these baby orphan kangaroos. From my TV screen, they look cute. If I was there, I'd run away. But Hannah senses something's off, and so she's starting to get nervous now. So when it gets to the evening portion, Hannah's in her nice burnt orange dress, and I see Peter rocking up in a hoodie, or a knitted hoodie, in a cardigan hoodie. I don't know what that top was, but yeah, some jeans, a t-shirt and trainers, and Hannah's gone all out. In my head, he's gonna send her home there and then. That's what I think at first. But then I remember there is a rose ceremony, so I don't think it's gonna be that straightforward. But then I'm like, okay, the rose ceremony is coming, and also he can't stop kissing her, so maybe I could be wrong. And then Peter lets Hannah know his heart is being pulled in two different directions, and as soon as he says it, the look in Hannah's eyes, I see the moment that she breaks. Like, I see the moment her heart shatters. Like, you can see it in her eyes straight away, and she even says that, like, that is very painful to hear. I can't remember her exact words, but yeah. And I just I really do feel so bad for Hannah in this moment, because you can see that Peter really wants Madison. Well, that's what it would seem. And Hannah's just, it seems like the next best thing. And I don't know, maybe I have been that person for someone before, and I know I've been Peter in that situation before, which is why I don't feel like he's a bad person, because you can end it with someone and someone else comes along and they help take your mind off of it, but they're not the person that you actually want. And despite my thoughts of her in the beginning, Hannah Ann does seem like such a lovely girl, and for that, I hope she crushes it in paradise. If it's not her that Peter chooses, I hope she gets an engagement. I hope she ends up with an amazing guy. If she does go to paradise, I'm sure she will. And then we cut back to Chris, and he lets us know that was not the last of Madison. We will be seeing her, and we see the trailer, and tomorrow it is going off. All the way off, and I cannot wait. And that is my review. Oh my gosh, it was tense. There was a lot of tense moments, a lot of awkward moments. The music choices were amazing. I don't know what's gonna happen. Madison's gonna come back, but Peter doesn't know how it ends himself. So my prediction is, whoever the woman is, they reject the thought of a proposal. They say they need to watch back the whole season of The Bachelor. This is my prediction. They need to watch back the whole season of The Bachelor to make an informed decision if they feel comfortable moving forward with him, seeing how he was with the other ladies or girl. That's my prediction. That's what I think is going to happen. Comment below what you think is going to happen. Comment below your thoughts on this episode. Comment below who you think Peter should end up with. At this point, I think it should be Madison, only because of what he said and how much he's made it out to be like she was the one from the get-go and that's all he wants, and how he's shown how distraught he is after she leaves. So for that reason, I think it should be Madison he ends up with. But they're going to face a lot of hard times ahead of them, because his family let it be known 100% that he loves to party. He is a party animal, okay? They kept saying he loves to go line dancing. He gets back. First thing he does, he doesn't shower. He doesn't take off his shoes. He goes straight out and parties. That's basically the story they were selling. And Madison seems like she wants to be in church every Sunday, not with her husband who is hungover from line dancing the night before. So that could be a big issue and battle for them. If they can work through that and meet in the middle and compromise, like Peter's brother was saying. No, he was saying they shouldn't compromise. Anyway, if they can, then yes for them. Hannah Ann, I think after watching this, she may always feel like she was the second best choice, unless she sees Peter turn down Madison for her. Well, I hope you guys did enjoy this review. As always, if you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff I'm meant to ask you to do. Please do. And I'm just rambling now, and I don't really know how to end this, so I'm just gonna go. Oh, and make sure you're back tomorrow for the final episode of my reviews. Love you!